And we're all set for a new installment of Webchat with the Mayor. We have a City Council meeting coming up on Thursday night this week. And one of the items on the agenda, Pat, Mark Schadenberg coming forward to talk about a possible new baseball complex for Woodstock. And what is new in this report?
Yes, Mark's coming forward representing the Woodstock Recreational Advisory Committee. And just quickly going back about 6 months ago, well, for the past year anyways, it's talk of a ball diamond complex that have up to 5 diamonds. An initial reports come in. There's been a lot of legwork done as we slowly move this through the pipeline. The Recreational Advisory Committee took a look at the 4 proposed possible sites, and they thought that the Woodall farm that the city purchased, which fronts on Devonshire, backs onto Piddock Lake, would be an ideal location for a 5-diamond complex. But they also said because of the size of that property, you could put a future arena up there, a future skateboard park, a future this, future that.
Lots of room up there.
Lots of room. It backs onto the trail system. So Woodstock could build not only a ball diamond complex, but phase in and build a brand new entire recreational zone up there. So they've recognized, they've taken a look at the 4 sites were proposed currently, and they see that as the one that they think would fit the best.
Now, the last report that came in, the costs were really high on this, like into the millions of dollars. Has that changed at all in this report?
Well, it hasn't changed because, again, they're just looking at the existing report. But one of the things in the report, it asked staff to take a look at those particular costs. There was a feeling they wanted to look into it because they weren't sure if the price of land was included in there, that maybe inflated some of these costs. So staff was to look at it from the point of view, drill down a little bit deeper, find out what the costs are, and also then what would be the costs of then phasing it in over a number of years.
Okay. Victoria Park, we're looking at some heritage designation for that park. Where did this come from, and what is the cost associated with that?
Well, it's in previous years, you've had groups come along and designate individual homes. So this is what's referred to as a district designation. Okay. And so they've taken a look around the houses that around the edges of Victoria Park. Mm-hmm. So you have, of course, the old jail on one side, but you have a number of very unique houses that border Victoria Park. And so the thing is, rather than designate one house, you designate it as a district. And so they sent out a survey, so it's a little bit complicated. It does put some responsibilities on the homeowners of those properties. They sent out an initial survey to the 20+ residents that live there. 4 said they didn't have a problem with it. 4 thought there were problems. 11 said we need more information. Okay. And so what this committee's asked is that will we provide them with $10,000 to do the study, an upside of $10,000. So the study can be done to find out what features each of these houses might have that the owner would be asked to sort of protect into the future. Okay. So it's an area that you want to preserve, because if you're a homeowner and you've put a lot of work into your property, you'd hate to see the next door neighbor go and take their stone frontage and put aluminum siding on it. Yeah. So that's sort of the protection that you have, but to have that protection, it also puts some rights on the individuals. And so you don't have to designate it. You could say, well, you know, it's stayed in pretty good shape all these years, but it's something that to provide that information for the residents that would be impacted by this, to find out exactly what their obligations would be. Okay.
Last week, there was a video posted on YouTube that kind of made its rounds of the media. We didn't think it was a huge story, but it certainly went beyond our city's borders. And a staged fight of a group of high school kids in front of the community complex. We've been hearing from staff that works at the complex that this is kind of an issue for them. Has this been discussed at all at City Hall, or what are your thoughts on that issue, Pat?
Well, when this happened and I heard about it, I thought, okay, well, there were fights in schoolyards when I was a kid, but
happens all the time.
Happens all the time, and it's not unique to St. Mary's. If you were to call up the police, they will tell you they've visited all the schools for fights like this. It certainly has had legs and gone beyond what I thought it deserved. It puts staff in a difficult position, certainly at the complex, because staff are there. I mean, I don't know what the reaction would have been if the fight took place in Victoria Park, which is a city-owned property. But it does open the staff for difficulties and suddenly being a referee if something goes beyond their scope. So so they exercise caution. They contact the police when they have to. But it's no different than, I mean, we brought in a couple years ago within the arenas a bylaw talking about fan behavior, so that we didn't have fights between fans at hockey games or between parents. So it's a concern that staff have to be worried about, and unfortunately they get they could be an innocent bystander in this particular case. So so now, anyways, I know certainly city staff is taking a look at it. I know that the police, the school board, they're looking at it. So it's certainly an incident that's locally going to come under under the microscope. So.
You feel, though, that staff there are handling the situation the way they should be?
Well, I support what staff is doing. So they're caught in a difficult position because we really don't have I'm sure we don't have protocols. We have lots of protocols on how to handle things, but we don't have really.
We usually don't have fights on
city
property.
We don't have fights that they pick our location to have the fights. So it puts them in a difficult position. They have to exercise caution because if something happened, then fingers are quickly pointed. But it's difficult, I mean, I certainly feel for St. Mary's High School. I mean, a month ago, 6 weeks ago, they had students in from Japan, Toyota Bushuko. They've come there now 3 years in a row to do exchange with the students for a day. So there's a lot of good news stories that happen at the high school, and it's unfortunate that one like this, but it just shows the impact of social media.
Yeah, well, hopefully the attention will kind of weed that out, and won't be an issue in the future.
Well, no, I mean it's not a. I mean the national exposure makes it sound like this is the first high school fight in the decade. So, anyways, I thought it was overplayed, but it's now under closer investigation.
Okay, well, probably not an issue for City Council this Thursday night, but there will be others, and we'll keep tabs on that. Thanks again, Pat.
Okay, thank you, Adam.